All right, so you saw the picture of the kitchen cabinets. They're horrible, I know. But here's the story. We bought this house for $27,000. Yeah, $27,000 not too long ago. We sold everything in Idaho and we moved everything out here to Kansas to start over, to do a new slow down life, start a whole new career and all that. So we've been trying to do this on a budget, and we have ripped up carpets, put down vinyl flooring, we have peeled off lots of wallpaper, painted the walls, repaired things, patched things. We've done all sorts of little things. But that kitchen, no matter what I do, I add a microwave, I move things around, I add a little storage here, but those cabinets, it's just not cutting it. Those cabinets are not original to this house. They apparently belonged to some other home or building somewhere and got moved to here. And so you can see the marks where the old hinges were and where the old hardware was actually on the opposite side of the door. So there's holes and there's dents and there's marks all over these cabinets that need to be patched and sanded. And they just kind of cut janky little things out of these cupboards to make them fit into the layout in my kitchen. And all of that was quite obvious, and it was just terrible. So we just had to do something, but I didn't want to replace the cupboards because they don't need to replace, they just need to look cute again. So we had some snow days and we couldn't get out, so I had the paint here, and so it took me about 4 days and less than 100 bucks. I used a product called Heirloom All-in-One Paint. I didn't have to prime or sand. I just had to clean, and I'm going to show you everything that I did and the tips and tricks to keep yourself organized when you're taking all that hardware and all that off and moving all those doors around. But also, I didn't have to buy new hardware, but the hardware looks amazing. I'm going to show you how I made that hardware come back to life. So anyway, I'm excited to show you what I did. I love doing this kind of stuff. I most of all love doing it on a budget. Under 100 bucks is pretty budget to me. So super important when you're taking off that hardware is get yourself some sort of a bucket. I use just like a little Nesquik bucket here. And so all of my screws and hardware, I put them all in one container, with the exception of the screws that went to the hinges. I put those in a little glass jar separate just because they were just a little bit different and I wanted to keep them all contained, and they were really tiny and I didn't want them to get lost. Now here, if you're gonna be taking off your cabinet doors, what I do is I go around and I just number my cabinets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until I get to the end. And I put a piece of tape on the inside of cabinet number 1 and then on the inside of the door for cabinet number 1. And so on, and then 2 and 2. So there's 2 pieces of tape per thing so that you know when that cabinet door is off that it's gonna line up to that particular cabinet. Back into your hinges, everything's gonna line up and it's gonna be perfect. You don't have to drill new holes. Now this here, I have a few TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook subscribers. I'd say across those 3 platforms, I have about 50 or 60,000 subscribers. So TikTok gave me the scrubber, so I just had to use it. But in actuality, I really didn't need to. I quickly stopped using it after this. This area of my kitchen cabinets was pretty dirty because it was right there by the sink, and just seems like everything just kind of got splashed against it. So I did a little scrubbing, but in reality, I didn't need to. Okay, I kind of got my videoing kind of backwards right here, but basically you put the surface prep, which is from the Heirloom Paint Company. It is a can that looks like a can of water, but it is amazing. You put that on all these surfaces and then you scrub with that scrubber that I had, and then you wipe everything off really well and get it nice and clean. This is the surface prep right there. And you just use a chip brush, or I use this little sponge brush, and you just put it on and let it sit for a minute or 2, and then you scrub if you need to with something, and you just wipe it off. And it really does clean everything. It is pretty stinking amazing. And this is really, really important to get that surface really, really clean. And so this, I can't stress this enough. Just get the stuff clean. You don't have to sand it. You don't have to do any of that stuff, but you got to get it clean. And this stuff does work great. Okay, so now we got the surface clean and we're going to start to paint. And the paint is an Heirloom All-in-One Paint. And this is called London, the color that I used. It's a beautiful sage green. I buy it when it does the $25 quart sale. It took me 2 quarts to paint this cabinet and 1 can of surface prep. So what you do is, it sounds really strange, but you're going to take a paintbrush and you're going to apply the paint on the cabinet. And then you have this little mini roller that you buy from Heirloom, and you just roll right over top of what you just painted, and it smooths all of the brush strokes out. They have lots of videos that teach you how to do it on their YouTube and their website and all that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, it may seem like silly, but it works. It really does. It takes all the brush strokes out. Here is the hardware. Can you see that? See how grimy and grungy and dark and black that is? That's just from years of just being exposed to all the elements and kitchen and all that. So I Googled it and it said boil this hardware with vinegar and water, equal parts. I went a little bit light on the vinegar and the hardware looks amazing. Look at this. It is like bright, beautiful brass again. Totally cheap. Did not have to buy a single piece of hardware to redo these cabinets with them. I covered up the bottoms and then I just repeated the process. I just went through and I made sure to clean everything. I pulled off my cabinets. I marked them with the tape. I put all the screws into containers to make sure I knew exactly where they were. And then I went through and I just painted again. Here I was just showing you that can of surface prep and the color London. So I went through and I got it all painted. And I'm telling you, brush and roll, it takes away the brush strokes. It is amazing. I just went through now and I just hung all of the doors back up, did any touch-ups of any scuffs or anything like that that I might have done while putting hardware back on, and it just really looks great. And here's the grand reveal. Oh, I love it. What a difference. The whole room is brighter. It literally took me just 4 days and under $100. The key is to buy your heirloom paint when it goes on sale for $25 a quart, and it happens often. I wish I would have gotten a little bit closer to where you could actually see that there really are no brush strokes at all. There's no bubbling, there's no orange peel. It looks so good and it's very durable. After a little bit of time, it actually cures and gets harder over time, but I'd say after the second or third day of me kind of babying it, it holds up to everything. Look at that hardware. I'm telling you, if your hardware is any style that you actually like, but maybe not the color, boil it with equal parts water and vinegar, maybe a little bit more water than vinegar, for about 30 minutes. Take it out, use some Barkeeper's Friend or some Comet and a toothbrush or a scrubber brush and just scrub that stuff. It will come clean. And then if you don't like what it turns out being, hit it with some spray paint. But I'm telling you, huge savings if you do not have to replace that hardware. And it's so easy to do. I absolutely love this kitchen. It inspired me to actually go and help my friend fix up her kitchen. So now I'm just showing you, this is what it really looks like. I did the whole Instagram, whatever, views of nothing on the counter. Well, there it is. The trash can's back. The piles of stuff is hidden in the corner. All the magnets are back on the fridge. This is how we really live. But it's still a wonderful kitchen. I really, really am pleased. So do you think you can do it? Tackle it. Do it. But before you do that, before you run off, could you subscribe and like and do all the things that you're supposed to do? Because I'd really like to grow the YouTube over here, like the Facebook and the Instagram and the TikTok and all that kind of stuff. So go ahead and hit that subscribe and that like button. Sure would appreciate it. Thanks. You guys have a blessed day.